Welcome to Cook 30. I'm Jeremy Dixon from the Revive Cafes in Auckland, New Zealand, and also authored the Revive Cafe cookbooks. And today I want to share with you some great ingredients, recipes and tricks so you can make delicious cafe food in your very own home. And Cook 30 food is all about using great whole food ingredients. We want to make sure you fill your body with wholesome food so you can feel amazing with lots of energy. Cook 30 food is all about using great protein sources, nuts, lentils and beans. We're going to use fresh fruit and vegetables, whole grains like quinoa and brown rice, and tie them all together with international food and flavour combinations and herbs and spices. And the best part about Cook 30 food is that you do not have to spend hours in the kitchen slaving away to make it. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to share with you some of my secrets and skills and techniques so that you can make a delicious, nutritious, healthy food for you and your family. And it will taste amazing. On the menu today we have a delicious chickpea pizza. And on top we're going to be making our very own fresh hummus. We're going to have Bombay roasted potatoes on the side, which are a great alternative to French fries, and an amazing cashew and bell pepper dip to dip corn chips into. And of course, to finish with something sweet, a peanut butter smoothie. So to start with, we want to make sure our kitchen bench is nice and clear. This will really help us make meals clear. So we've got a clear bench, we've got a pan on the stove, we've got the oven hot at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius, we've got our potatoes out and we're ready to go. So we're going to start with the Bombay roasted potatoes first because they're going to take the longest to cook. So we've got 1 kg or 2 pounds of potatoes, and we're just going to dice these up into kind of small bite-sized pieces. Now we're going to leave the skins on. I'm not a big believer in peeling things. It just gets rid of all the nutrients and causes extra time. So don't be scared to leave your skins on. As long as they're nice and clean, they should be fine. I'm just going to chop these up, and don't chop them too large, or they'll take too long to cook. So I'm going to take these now and throw them in a nice mixing bowl. I'm going to make them a really beautiful colour. And turmeric is one of my favourite colouring spices. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of turmeric. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of oil. And a teaspoon of salt. Now normally I'd use my hands to mix something like this. However, turmeric will just get over them for the rest of the day. So just give them a little light mix up like that. So they get all mixed up. And we're just going to throw them on an oven tray, something like this. And we're going to put them in the oven and get them underway really quickly. So they'll take around about 30 minutes, sometimes a little bit more depending on the potato, but we want to get them in the oven really fast so they're underway. Now we're going to make a delicious chickpea pizza. And this base is probably something like you've never made before, but it is really, really easy. We're going to use a product called chickpea flour. It's also called besan flour or chana flour. I'm going to start with 3 cups of this flour, and you can buy this at most international stores or especially Indian stores as well. So it's 3 cups of this flour and 3 cups of water. But the trick is when you add the water is just to add a little bit at a time so it doesn't go lumpy. So we're just going to mix it up like this. So I had some friends around on a Saturday night one time, and someone said, let's go out for pizza, or let's order pizza in. And I said, oh no, I don't want dripping cheese and white flour. So they challenged me to make a healthy pizza. And this is the recipe that I came up with. So we're just doing the base here, so it's kind of getting a bit more together now. If you put all the water in all at once to begin with, you end up with all these lumpy bits, so you need to spend a bit of patience getting this stirred. Now that it's together, we can add the rest of the water and stir it all up. So now this chickpea mix is now all mixed together, we can add some flavouring ingredients. And we're going to add 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and this is reasonably available in most shops, and half a teaspoon of garlic powder. You generally use more onion powder. And we're going to use a teaspoon of salt, and just a tablespoon of oil, and just keep mixing. Now this mixture may look a lot runnier than you think would be suitable for a pizza base, but trust me, you just have to have some faith with this one. It'll actually harden up into a beautiful pizza base. Now there may be a few little lumps in there, don't panic, they just seem to mostly cook out as long as you've got most of them out of the mix. We're going to oil the tray, just to make sure you oil in the corners because that's where it generally tends to stick most. Just give a quick oil on a non-stick baking tray like this, and then we're just going to pour it in like that. Look at that. So don't worry about those lumps. And again, we're going to put it in the oven with the potatoes. Now this will take around about, whoops, wrong oven. We'll put it in this one here. This will take around about 15 to 20 minutes to cook. Make sure it's on a level surface, and that'll come out to be a nice, beautiful, firm pizza base. So we have 2 important jobs out of the way. We have the potatoes roasting away in the oven and the pizza base starting to crispen up. So we're going to take a few moments now just to prepare some of the toppings for the pizza. So firstly, we're going to use a tomato sauce on a pizza. Now normally I'd make my own tomato sauce from scratch, and I'll show you in some future programs how to do this. But for sometimes it's just easy just to get a nice, healthy, preservative-free tomato sauce to use. So we're going to put 2 cups of a pre-made tomato sauce in a pan, and we're just going to warm it up. So we'll turn the gas on and get that warming up. So just put it on low, and it's just going to just simmer away there. So when we add it to the pizza, it's all nice and warm and ready to go. We're also going to chop up some onion. An onion is lovely and sweet when it's cooked. So we're just going to chop this up into some rings. And we're going to put this in the pan with a little bit of oil. So we're just going to put it in the pan, turn the heat on, and just put about a tablespoon of oil, and just let this slowly cook away and saute. So by the time it comes to dress our pizza, we'll have some nice caramelised sweet onion that we can put on it as well. So just 2 little more jobs out of the way. We're going to make a very, very lovely dip. And this is very, very easy. Once you've made it once, you're going to make it all the time. It's a cashew and bell pepper dip. So we're going to start with the bell peppers. These are actually called capsicums in New Zealand where I come from, so you can call them bell peppers or capsicums. So we're just going to de-seed them, take out the seeds, and cut them in half. These have a lovely fresh flavour. We're just going to roughly chop them up. So when they're chopped up, we're going to throw them in the pan, and we're going to turn the pan on quite hot. Add a tablespoon of oil, and we're going to add some cashew nuts, 1.5 cups of cashew nuts. And we're just going to toast those for about 5 or 6 minutes. And they'll just, the flavours of the cashew nuts will get kind of roasted flavour, and the bell pepper will just taste really lovely as well. So we've got 3 things on the stove now. We've got the tomato sauce going, we've got the onions sautéing away. They'll need a few tosses to stop them from burning. And we've got these going away. So these will start to become very hot, and these will provide an excellent flavour base for the dip we've got coming up shortly. We're going to add some fresh hummus to the top of our chickpea pizza. There's nothing more beautiful than some freshly made hummus. You can of course buy hummus at the supermarket in containers like this, and that's actually fine because these dips are actually a lot healthier than some of the other options that are out there. But they're still full of all these preservatives and a lot of ingredients that I can't really pronounce, so it's probably better to make your own. The next best option is to use canned chickpeas. And canned chickpeas are excellent because you can just have them in your pantry, whip them out and make fresh hummus anytime. But the best way is to cook and freeze your own chickpeas. And what I do at home is I cook my chickpeas up and I freeze them in little containers like this. And it's great because it only takes a few moments to defrost them. So all we do is put them in a colander and defrost them under some water. And within literally 30 seconds, these will become defrosted, ready to use chickpeas, almost as good as fresh. So make sure you stock your fridge up or your freezer up with some chickpeas like this. So if you buy hummus from the supermarket, it might cost $3 to $4 for a pack. If you make them with canned chickpeas, it might cost, $1 to $2. If you make it yourself, it's probably only going to cost about 50 cents for the same amount of hummus. So you can save huge amounts of money and add lots of freshness just by a little preparation and cooking your chickpeas in advance and keeping them in the freezer. See, these are ready to go, and we can now make our own hummus, these beautiful chickpeas. So a food processor or blender is what we need here. We can use a liquidizer or blender like this one over here, but that will generally end up with, you need to have a liquid air type hummus, but if you want a thick hummus, you generally need to have a food processor like this so it can work. So the recipe is for the perfect hummus every time is 2 cans of chickpeas, or basically 3 cups. It's about 3 cups. We're going to add some tahini, and tahini is sesame seed paste, and it's an excellent ingredient to use. Sometimes it needs a bit of a stir around. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tahini. We're going to put 2 generous tablespoons of tahini in. Now, one thing that most chickpea recipes have is oil. And I've actually started making my hummus without oil. You can actually make great hummus, so you do not necessarily need to add oil. We're going to add some salt, and we've got half a teaspoon of salt. Lemon juice is an essential ingredient, so we're going to add 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. Just squeeze them through my hand so they don't, I think one jumped in, but it'll get blended up so no one will notice. So lemon juice, salt, tahini, chickpeas, and we'll need a little bit of water, which we'll get from the tap. And the amount of water you need will vary depending on the batch. So just check my recipe, and we need 2 cloves of garlic. Garlic is an essential ingredient for hummus. Gives it a really, really nice tang. So all ingredients in, lid on the food processor, and we'll blend away. Now every time I make hummus, it turns out different. I'd love to give you a recipe that was almost perfect every time, but the reality is lemons are always different, chickpeas are always different, so it's really important that you taste your hummus when you make it. And if it's not going around, you may need to add some more water, so give it a taste and see if it needs anything else. Tastes great. Probably just a little bit more salt and another squeeze of lemon juice. So every time you make it, you just need to test it and just adjust it. Mix it up so you've got the perfect blend each time. So we're going to leave it there for a moment, and we're going to use that in our chickpea pizza when that comes ready to dress in a couple of minutes. In case you're just joining us, we are making today a delicious meal. We have a chickpea pizza topped with freshly homemade hummus. We're going to serve it with Bombay roasted potatoes, which are a great alternative to French fries. On the side we have a cashew and bell pepper dip that we can put our corn chips in. And of course, something sweet. We're going to be making a peanut butter smoothie. Now we're going to finish bell pepper and capsicum dip. And this is a beautiful, beautiful dip. As you can see, the bell peppers and the cashews are nicely charred and nicely toasted. And all we're going to do is put these into the blender. Now you can use a stick blender, you can use a food processor for this, but this dip ends up being reasonably liquid, so it will generally work with most blenders or liquidizers. Trick is getting it all in without it falling out. Look at that. We're also going to add the juice of 1 lemon, or around about 2 tablespoons. That just smells so good. Nothing like the smell of toasted cashews. Oops. And we're going to add half a teaspoon of salt. And also going to add some garlic. So we're going to put in, we'll see if we can extract 4 cloves of garlic. And we don't need to chop it up because it's going to be blended nicely. So all ingredients in and we're away. There it goes. While that's going, we'll give this a bit of a stir. Just stir the onions. They're looking nice and caramelised and brown. They're going to be very, very sweet and lovely on the pizza. And this tomato sauce looks like it's nicely warmed up. And when we come to dress our pizza, they're ready to go straight away. So the dip looks good. Again, we'll have to give it a taste, as we want to with most dips, and just see what it's like. Perfect. This just tastes amazing. It's my favourite dip ever, and it's so easy to make. We're just going to pour it into a nice bowl, just like that. And that is just amazing for dipping corn chips into. And it'll go nicely with our pizza. So, got a lot of jobs underway. The potatoes in the oven, they'll be nearly finished. We've got the pizza base, which will be almost ready finished as well. Our toppings for the pizza are hot, ready to go. We've got 2 dips made, and next we're going to move and dress the pizza. The most exciting part of a pizza is dressing it. So we're going to get this lovely base out of the oven. And look at that, look at how it's nice and crisp and firm and everything. It's just got a nice bite to it. It's amazing what a little bit of chickpea flour and water can do. So we're going to put this on a, pizzas look great presented on wood, so I've just got a spare chopping board here. I'm just going to put it onto here without burning myself. Get rid of that under there. And we're going to start to put all our ingredients that we've prepared in the last 20 minutes or so on top. So firstly, with any pizza comes tomato sauce. And again, I'll show you how to make a great Italian tomato sauce in a future episode, but some of the store-bought ones are actually not too bad. And when you're making food in 30 minutes, you need to make a few little compromises somewhere. It tastes great. Second ingredient, we've got our lovely caramelised onions. So we're going to put them over as well, just drizzle them through the pizza, just for a little bit of sweetness and texture. And next comes some spinach. And you can use normal spinach, but I call it like baby spinach. We're just going to sprinkle some on here. And not too much that you kind of cover everything up so much, but just a lovely bit of green works really well. Next we've got some bell peppers, and we probably need half a bell pepper in total, so I'm going to use probably about 1/4 of 2. Found some nice red and orange ones, so having a little bit of extra contrast and colour is excellent. Now when you're chopping or slicing it, you really want to make sure you're sliding your knife. So you've always got the tip on the board and you're just slicing through. Don't kind of cut down like that because you're doing a lot more work than you need to. You want to make sure you're sliding and letting the blade do the work. It's a lot easier. Just going to sprinkle those on randomly. So as you can see, colour is our friend in this pizza. And now, that's everything there. Hummus is going to go on. And this pizza we're going to serve in 12 different segments. So imagine like a 3 by 4. So what we want to do is get the hummus on. I'm just going to put 12 blobs of hummus, evenly spaced over the pizza. I think this is looking really, really good for a pizza that's not dripping with cheese, full of all that horrible white flour. Just a good generous blob. And again, because we made our own hummus, this has probably only cost us 50 cents compared with $3 or $4 at the supermarket. And then to finish it off, I've got some nice olives. So I've just got some Kalamata olives or any black olives. I think I'll just pour them in here so we can get them out. There we go, they're coming out. And just basically putting one olive on each piece. And there you go, you have your 12 slices of pizza. Now we're going to finish with the peanut butter smoothie. This is a great smoothie if you have never tried a peanut butter smoothie before. And the best ingredient for smoothies is frozen bananas. You can use normal bananas that aren't frozen, but if you've got some old bananas that are kind of need to be something done with them, just throw them in the freezer. Make sure you take the skin off and put them into chunks like this. If you put the whole banana in the freezer, it's very, very hard to peel a frozen skin off a banana. So what you want to do is end up with banana like that, and we're going to put that straight in the jug and the smoothie blender. We're going to add some peanut butter. So we've got the equivalent of 2 bananas there, and we're going to add 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Now I find it hard in America to find peanut butter without sugar. It's amazing the peanut butter doesn't just have a little bit of sugar, but some of it has up to 30% sugar, which is a huge amount. So try and buy the natural stuff wherever you can. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons in. Bit of a messy job, this one. And then we're going to add some milk. And whatever milk is your favourite milk, I currently quite like almond milk, but you can use oat milk, rice milk, soy milk, or whatever milk you want. And we're going to add, how much here? About 1.5 cups. In general, when you're making a smoothie, you want your liquid to be about the same level as all your kind of frozen and hard ingredients, just as a general guide. And we're ready to go, that's all. So we'll blend that. Just might add a bit more milk just to keep it flowing. All the lumps will be gone. Now with this smoothie we're going to decorate the glasses just to make it just a little bit extra special. And I'm going to use something here called carob powder. And carob powder is like a healthy cocoa powder, and it doesn't have caffeine and it's just much better for you, so I quite like it. So we're going to use 3 tablespoons of carob powder, and this is available at most health stores. And we're just going to mix it up with about 2 tablespoons of water. And what we want to do is create a nice little paste that we can use to decorate our glasses. Again, this bit is a little bit messy. So we want to have it so we can just pour it, but it's still nice and thick. So you kind of want to just add tiny amounts of water at a time. And eventually it'll become this really nice pourable liquid. Okay, that's nice and pourable now. So we're going to just grab another spoon and we're just going to decorate the glasses. Better wash my hands. Don't want to go to all this trouble of decorating these glasses and put all these smudgy marks over it. And we're just going to pour a little bit around it and just rotate the glass. Now you can be as messy as you want, it probably won't show up, but you want some really nice lines around the glass. try another glass as well. It'll start dribbling down, that's fine. Don't need to be too neat, just kind of give it a pour, rotate it around, and do a bit of smoothie glass art. And then when you pour the smoothies in, they look really nice and special. Oops. And they look amazing, and they taste really, really good too. So they're ready to go to the table. So now we're going to look, we've done the smoothie, everything is finished, the only one thing remaining is the Bombay roasted potatoes. So we'll head over to the oven and get those out. I think they're done now. The best way to test if potatoes is done is just to give them a bit of a press down, and when they're soft you know they're done, so they're all ready to go. And this is really easy from here on. All we're going to do is put them into a nice wooden bowl, and we're going to garnish them with some fresh parsley and some sweet chilli sauce, and it will just taste really, really good. So we'll do that right at the final stage just before we're about to serve. And there we have it, a meal in 30 minutes. We have the beautiful chickpea pizza with fresh, homemade, delicious hummus. We have the cashew and bell pepper dip with some sprinkling of cashew nuts on top, and the Bombay roasted potatoes with sweet chilli sauce and a sprinkling of parsley, and of course the peanut butter smoothie for sweet. Thank you for joining me today for Cook 30. I hope you've picked up some new cooking skills and can enjoy the new food that you've now learnt how to cook.